Morning again. It's at Love Clark, and I wanted to say that. Okay. Now I'm coming to this understanding about the word giants and the way it's been mistranslated or misquoted in what you call your Bible. Okay, compared to the original Hebrew. Okay. Now, the problem is, I don't have problems with recognizing when there is a mistranslation and accepting correction, okay? And I'm not trying to contest the point of view that Craig Wynn is teaching, Yadiah is teaching about the subject. Saying that the word giants is misrepresented and it means like bullies, hostile government, overbearing government, these kind of things, political giants, if you will, political and military giants. Not actual physical giants, but I have another problem with that. That doesn't mean that they couldn't be both, in my opinion. Maybe they could have been both. But when you look at the photographs, okay, of what's the so-called uncovered bones, most of these are photoshopped, and that's what's really irritating about it. They show these photos, which my friend Fernando showed a few clips, and most of those are photoshops, okay, and fake. Most of those ones. I'm not saying all the pictures out there are fake. I'm just saying the ones that he showed, those aren't real. And there's a couple reasons why a lot of these ones that they show aren't real. Is because they always show them in the process of digging them out. But when do they ever go to the museums? Where do they end up? How come they don't get on national news when those kind of photos come out? Where did these bones go? Where are they now? The only thing I can find, though, is the Smithsonian is covering up smashing giants. Now, the other problem is the legends, mythology has, traces of truth in it throughout each religion, regardless of what source they came from or whatever, wickedness lied there, whatever, your deal is with the religions, okay? But my point is the mythologies has some truth in them, and they resemble each other, and giants is a main theme in a lot of them, okay, giants. So maybe these could be giants, okay, in the Bible, real giants, all right, according to the word. But let's find out, okay? So today I'm going to look more into this word giants, and we're going to look at some pictures of giants, and we're going to look at the reasons why some of these photos are obviously fake or not true, because if they were, by the time they uncovered these fully uncovered, because they usually always show them buried, halfway buried, half buried in the sand. They're photoshops, okay? Some of them I can prove. One I'll prove on Fernando's is a Photoshop, and I could prove it very easily to people that has an eye for detail, and I'll show it later. If I don't, remind me, Fernando. All right, and I'm not coming against Fernando. I'm just trying to help Fernando, because you got to recognize, dude, there's a lot of these photos are fake, and you can't just, because you want to believe in it, Can't just buy into every single one, just like with aliens and other things like that. But I get you. You know, what you're trying to say is there's evidence there. Let's look at this evidence. But those pictures you showed, they weren't real. But I'll try to we'll try to look at them, and I'll show you why some of yours weren't real. And I'm not saying he's doing this on purpose. He's not doing this on purpose. I just think he doesn't realize that the extent of how realistic they look. And why would they allow these pictures, you know, if they're fakes? But the problem with these pictures is, where are these skulls and skeletons today then? Why aren't they put in the museum? Why don't they talk anything else about it? They only just show them uncovering them, and then that's it. There's no story, follow-up stories. There's no worldwide news. There's none of that, you know. The Smithsonian, though, the stuff I was covering, Smithsonian and the Native American burial mounds, which were Caucasoid, okay, and carcasses. I got it right, carcasses, okay. They're basically, the bodies were white people, white giants, and it goes along with their mythology, Native American mythology. So you've got Greek mythology, you've got the Titans, you've got Native American mythology, and then you've got this Christian mythology that's trying to use this word giants, which we're not sure if it applies or not. I'm not saying, it's still, even if the word isn't, okay, even in the Hebrew, if it doesn't really mean giants physically, that still doesn't mean that a giants race did not exist. So, and just because there is a deeper meaning to giant, it could be, you know, tyrants, bullies, political giants, but aren't most bigger people, a lot of times they tend to try to bully and rule over the smaller people, okay? That is how it, you know, generally goes. So if the mythologies are true, and, you know, and don't believe in the Book of Enoch, please don't follow it. It's a forgery, you know. It's fake. It's not real, okay? There may be some concepts in there that could have some kind of truth to them, but it's not valid. It's not real, and you know, it's a fake, okay? You can't follow that stuff. Now, but the Zecharia Sitchin type stuff, you know, were the Sumerian and the Hebrew very similar, you know, from the Chaldean and the Babylonian and the Hebrew, all different variations, same languages, okay? You know, and some conclusions would lead to that, you know, the Bible God, Yahweh, at one time was with other gods, you know, in an acceptable pantheon of gods, right? That they worshipped in the Babylonian or the Chaldean time, during Abraham's father's time, right? And Yahweh said, I don't want to be a part of them, or they were getting worship undue, and maybe these were other divinities that he had created, but not intended for other people to worship, but only one God. So he had to separate from that, or separate people's ideas from worshiping multiple gods, but only the one true creator God. Okay, whether you want to call him in the Bible a demiurge, or whether he's you know, the good, or both, it doesn't matter. The point is that with this information, you have to take into account all the mythologies, because if you don't listen to mythologies, because they do resemble each other, and then You know, don't discredit mythologies, but just because they are mythologies doesn't mean that the whole mythology is actually facts. And, you know, I'm finding out that there is some scientific stuff, like what people claim is only in the Hebrew text or in the Bible, you know, scientific stuff that was unknown from before, is the only place you'll find that real stuff is in the Bible. But there may be some ancient Viking writings and poems that talk about some scientific stuff, and we're really not supposed to, they're allegory, and we're supposed to understand them as a literal sense, but the people that were speaking it understood it at that time, such as Lady in the Labyrinth and her talking about this big sound, big wave, big bang theory, okay, that was spoken in their poems. And if you don't know who that is, Lady the Labyrinth is really interesting Scandinavian woman who teaches a wonderful way, in a wonderful way that's different and makes it more interesting, and makes you, people that are not close to their culture like us, we're close to our American white culture, but we're not close to our culture that's, you know, way across that sea where our ancestors really came from. Because think about this, African people with us, you're not the only ones that's origin comes from across the sea, okay? Anyway, it's at Love Clark. Alright, love you guys. I'm going to get off here because I don't even know where I'm going to go with it next, and I think I'm just done with it. So, remember, whenever you're out there studying, sometimes, you know, you can't just believe in these photos that you see because you want to believe in it. It's like evolution. When they put together these skeletons that really don't fit, or they put together these conclusions and push them and push them and push them. And this is the reason why the Smithsonian is being sued, according to the article, is because they destroyed these giant skeletons, thousands of giant skeletons in the 1900s, because they were trying to push the evolution so badly. Okay? They were pushing evolution so badly. So that's the factor that into the equation of it. So, you know, it's really sounds like a, you know, there's some truth to these giants, but not everything is cracked up to be what it is cracked up to be with the giants. You get what I'm saying? Anyway, I'm gonna go now. Alright, love you guys, love.